Travis's camera stand right in the way, so if I'm making weird faces, I'm not even going to be able to tell.
You'll be fine. Welcome back, folks. Goldthwaite Guys Podcast. Me with Russell Bristol today. Russ, who's our guest?
We have the great honor to have Sherriff Jones with us and gracing us with his presence today and hanging out with us for the next little bit. We're getting set up here on the podcast. Sherriff, welcome to the show.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back.
It's been a while.
Yep, it has been a little bit, and I want to say, Russ, thank you for having me in. Travis, it's always a special time to come out here and be able to communicate with across the community, actually. So
Yes, sir.
it's a time to reach out, that we can reach out to everybody. So I always enjoy it. So, Russ, I appreciate the invite. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming out and hanging out with us. And again, we are live on YouTube. And let's just talk a little bit about some things that are going on. Then we'll get into some safety topics that we need to cover as far as school opening up. Two-a-days started, or fall practice started Monday. Do they practice tomorrow, Travis, or are they off on Fridays?
Man, I don't know. I think they practice tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then they got next week, the following week, and then we'll have school,
When does
a
school
week
start?
from this coming Wednesday.
So we start
On the
day
19th
Yeah.
is when we start.
But we got a scrimmage next Friday, though.
We do have a scrimmage.
No, is it? Dude, I don't know. Tell us.
No, we do have a scrimmage against Mason
can't keep
next
up.
Friday, a week
Here,
from
yeah.
tomorrow,
And school starts the next week,
next Wednesday.
next Wednesday.
Yes,
So
sir.
like in 4 days, 5 days, yeah.
Yes, sir.
It's just Travis.
That's right. Well, I'm glad I asked him. I've cleared it up clear as mud, right? Right, sure.
Well, probably should have given him a little information before I started asking him all those questions.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Travis thought he didn't know he's going to have a test here.
Yeah.
Got to start with what's your name and.
Yeah. Hot.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, it depends on what convenience store I'm running out of.
Yes, sir. Well, we're trying to think back, Sheriff Jones. We had you on. How long? Well, let me ask it this way, because this is a good way to tell. How long have you been now Sheriff of Goldthwaite, or Mills County, I should
Yep.
say?
So that started January 25. So we're about 18 months. We were talking about that a little bit today. So not long when you think about it.
It seems longer now.
Yeah. Well, it's because you're in trouble all the time.
Spend my time hiding from him. But he just showed up everywhere I was today. I'm sorry.
Travis can slow down a little bit today because we've got him located here. So
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. And
That's why I'm sweating. It ain't
he
the
is,
coffee.
he's cornered. But 18 months ago,
18 short months, when
That's
you
been
think
great.
about that. And there has been a lot to do. I've enjoyed every minute of it. We haven't found a hurdle yet that we couldn't get over. So
Yes, sir.
as long as we can manage to accomplish that, I think we'll be in good shape.
let me kind of ask you this before we get into the topics of different things pertaining to the school, because there's some good conversation that we need to have about the direction of safety in the school this year. But I want to ask you, since you've been now Sheriff 18 months, is there any specific thing that you're proud of implementing into Mills County?
Russ, that's a great question, and I was hoping that we'd get an opportunity to talk about that a little bit. And, I won't call it bragging, because I have so many good people up there at the sheriff's office that have been a part of all of this. But there has been lots of things that we have tried to implement and maybe even recreate over our time period. But, we have several school safety initiatives. We have community initiatives. And, if you don't mind, we'll just start with school safety initiatives.
Absolutely.
First. I mean,
Yes, sir.
here
Let's
we
take
are
off.
talking about school starting and all that kind of stuff.
It's here.
And, one of the things that I campaigned on, even when I was starting, is that school safety was one of the things that was going to be a top priority. And we weren't very many years out of Uvalde, so that was something that was on everybody's mind anyway. But when we think about it, the safety of our children is a very important issue. So some of the initiatives that, we were trying to be very proactive about here certainly is working out our emergency response program. What does a situation in school look like, and what does their alert program look like? So, while I've got the community at my microphone here,
Sure.
we'll let them know tomorrow, Saturday morning, Saturday morning, we're going to run a live response in coordination with the fire department. So when we talk about school safety, we're a little rural sheriff's office in Mills County, and when you think about a response like a school incident might be, 4 or 5 guys is not going to get that done. So, it takes a lot of the community's help, and the volunteer firemen are a large part of that, and we know that, and I'll have to, give them a handshake or a clap or something, because it does take a community. And so we're going to run a live response. I'll tell the community they may be hearing some of that radio traffic, and we just want them to know that we're testing.
Okay.
We've got to fly the plane a little bit,
Sure.
see how it's going to do. So we're going to run a live response on the high school and man those positions that we'll need to man in such an incident. And, when you talk about that, setting up a perimeter around something like the high school or the middle school or even the elementary, that's a lot of manpower to do that. And that's about 15 intersections that we've got to man when you set up something like that on just an outer perimeter. So, we're going to run that test and see how that goes, and, just get a feel for what that takes, what kind of response time. We're going to set up the command center and, manage all of that. So that'll be one of the things that we're doing. Now, some of the other things, we went out to Pretty a couple of days ago and tested their response program. Give the teachers an opportunity to see how that went. I'm not going to talk about the particular safety programs that they have, but each one of the schools has those, and an opportunity for them to actually get to set that off and see what kind of response that they get and what they see themselves. And then that also gave us an opportunity to see what that looks like in our communications facility. So, for our operators to see that, the teachers and things of that nature to see that taking place is very beneficial. So, when you do it for the first time, it's not, how is this thing going to work? What happens? They already know.
Yes, sir.
It also gave us an opportunity to, in a circumstance like that, the kind of information that we're going to need as a law enforcement facility. What kind of an actor do you have? What kind of a circumstance do you have? So we got to go through that with them. So I think it went well.
Yes, sir.
I know that superintendent out there was encouraged by all of it. So just another one of those things that is great to do in the community. And certainly we are, it's coming close to school starting again. We talked about that. So the safety meetings are a priority. We did one at Mullen about 4 or 5 days ago as well. So, this is just something that's on our mind, on everybody's mind. And it's an opportunity here for me to tell folks that we're on top of it.
We're on top. And, it's crazy to think, but that we have to prepare for something like this, but that's the world we live in today. And the sheriff,
I think it never happened. You never know.
Yeah, and if the ones that aren't prepared for it, it will be.
We see crazy stuff in the news all the time. Just like what
Well, we know that practice makes perfect, and we know that a plan is only as good as its practice, right? So that's one of the important parts of this. And a lot of times if we practice, we never have to use it, right?
That's right.
So that's one of the things that's important to us.
I think, and that's one of the, as a dad, when your kids are home and they're in the safety of your home and your, I guess, protection, all's well. But when you now go into a world, or they go to a school, and it only takes one person that's off that day and going to have a vendetta, and that's a scary thing as a parent to know that the world we live in. And there's, I'm saying this right now, and there are people going to go to bed tonight with a kid that's not there anymore because of a school shooting. It's crazy to think how far our society has gotten to that point. But to that point, like you said, it's what you're only going to be as good as the level of your training. Correct? Is that the old adage there?
It is, and that's one of the things that we want to make sure of. So, and there again, I want folks to know that that is something that's on our mind at the sheriff's office, and we want to make sure that all their children are safe.
Yep.
Yours, mine, everybody else's. So
right.
I think the teachers go through some kind of training. Of course, I'm sure that I mean, they.
Or
I mean, y'all
are you
work
in
with
tune
them,
with
though.
that? Is there anything specific?
Absolutely. And, without saying too much about what kind of the program the
Right.
schools has, but you're exactly right. Each one of them does have that. Mullen has even stepped up and started a Marshall program.
Wow.
That's no secret whatsoever. I mean, he is absolutely out there in uniform. The kids see him every day. That's a great thing. Anybody that might have any ill intentions would, see a uniform there, and that's always discouraging.
Sure.
And we've known that for some time now, and that was part of the initiative, having law enforcement, just officing in the school building, doing the reports and things of that nature there. And that's one of the things that the deputies know is, when you're around the school, especially while that's going on, have a walk through. It's a great opportunity for the kids to see the deputies, and it's
Sure.
it's a comforting thing for them to see law enforcement in
So
their
peace of
school.
mind.
Yes, that's
Yes.
the words I was looking for, Russ.
Absolutely.
And so, they do that in the daytime. They're encouraged to do that when school is in, and then they're encouraged to do that at night. So
Yes.
I've told all the school districts, if you see a flashlight roaming around the school at night and there's a squad car sitting out there, that's exactly what they're doing, is familiarizing themselves with the building.
Yeah.
So should they have to make that response, then they know
They know the exit
what
points.
classroom numbers are on the right of the door
Yeah.
and what classroom numbers are on the left. So they know those things. They know where the cubbies are. The high school itself, has some classrooms that you need to have some knowledge about what that classroom looks like. So they
Right.
do those kind of things. And one of the other things that we do in response to that is checking those schools at night, see if there's any doors open or anything
Right.
like that. And I'll tell you that's been a successful program. There has been a time or two, without making too much noise about it, that a superintendent's got a phone call at midnight. The door's open, and that's good. We all make mistakes, and I'll say I'm the first one to admit that I have done that.
Yeah.
And we forget to lock a door or something like that, and
Yeah.
if a deputy's shaking that door saying,
Got
"Hey,
those
we just want to, we've already gone through. Everything seems to be in order, but
Yeah.
your key holder can make it up here."
You got those
You know,
coaches
so-
and band coming in at wee hours of the morning on a Friday night. It's
All of
easy to
that.
forget.
All of that, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And used to we didn't worry about those things.
Sure.
Used to the gym door was open. We
Right.
went and practiced, and we did those
At
kind
any
of
time.
things. But y'all spoke about that a while ago. That's an
Yeah.
environment that we don't live in anymore. One of the things I want to bring to the community
Yes, sir.
there again, while you've given me this
That's
great
great.
opportunity,
No,
Russ.
that's why you're here.
One of the things that we showed at school the other day is that you can text 911 these days, and
That's what I
Really?
wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's a fantastic thing. And should you find yourself in an environment that you can't actually talk on 911, when you dial 911, there is an apparatus there that you can text that communications operator at the sheriff's department up there, that dispatcher. You can text them, "I can't talk." If you're not capable of talking, is what that was originally developed for. And we see
Yeah.
that in this time it has turned into a much different thing. But that communications operator, that dispatcher, can text back to you. So it's just like you and I texting each other,
Yeah.
except that's done over a 911 console. So it's pretty.
Now I want to expand on that. That's bigger, not bigger than, but it's in addition to a school. Let's say there's domestic violence going on and a wife is scared and don't want to
Yeah.
call 911, or in Travis's case, a husband that's scared and don't want to call.
Yeah, because there ain't no whispering on me. Because so I'd have to text. Like, my wife's beating the hell out of me. Coming
Yeah,
at me,
when you're screaming like a girl, text is a good thing to have.
She's holding my head under the water in the sink. I mean,
Yeah, so no, we're making light of that, and but it's a serious thing.
It is.
But the ability to be, and the point of that is, it's not just a school thing. It's any situation you may be in where.
Yep.
Now, obviously, it has to be an absolute 911 emergency. Don't.
It's the same thing, Russ,
Yeah.
and you're on the right track there when you talk about that. We know what 911 is for.
Right.
And, that's not a secret to anyone. But if there is an emergency and it's a circumstance where you can't talk, you're not capable of talking, then you have the ability to text. So it's a great thing.
And there's ramifications. I'm gonna say it this way, and you kind of there's ramifications if you do that flippantly, just like there would be if you were to call 911 flippantly.
Yep.
Correct.
Abuse of 911, and
Yes.
it's a criminal offense. It absolutely is. So,
I want to clarify that. That's for sure.
I've got caller ID.
Well, that's for sure. On
in
steroids.
many ways. So yes, when you say that, all of that information does show up there. Whose phone it comes
Right.
from. That's one of the things also that's helps us with where that emergency call comes from, and it actually will give us a pin on a map.
That's
So
that's the great thing about a cell phone these days is it puts you right in their pocket, right?
our communications facility has the ability that if you call or text 911, when you make that emergency call, it puts a pin on the map. It is great. It helps.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in need.
You can be en route before they get out the address out of their mouth.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. And so we've got some great electronic capability up. The world of electronics these days, the things that we have is great. We've not even talked about Rapid SOS yet. So
that's Greek to me.
We've come a long way since smoke signals.
That's right. That's right. So what is Rapid SOS? What
Rapid
is
SOS gives us the capability, if you've called in on a cell phone or something of that nature, we can send a link back to you. You can click on that link, and now your camera on your phone will show in communications.
Turns into a body cam.
It absolutely does.
Pretty much.
In-car cam.
Crazy.
You know, so that video camera on your phone now is receivable right there in our dispatch.
Okay.
So whatever you're seeing, whatever that emergency is, intoxicated driver or something of that nature, whatever, with Rapid SOS, we can have that directly on our. Now, the important part about having it on our screen is that's recorded information now.
Right. It's official.
Yep.
Serious situation were to arise where you find yourself at the mercy of, you can text and then get the link, and then within seconds, the sheriff's office can be seeing what you're seeing.
Yes.
Am I correct in that?
But you got to click that link. I mean, he can't just.
Yeah,
Right.
they'll send that link back to you. Now, here's one thing that I want to clarify. While we're talking about texting 911 and calling 911, most of the time that is very successful. However, if you're in a circumstance where there's not much cell coverage, and we know we're still in the hill country, right?
Sure.
Texting oftentimes works better than calling.
Right.
Now, I will say at the same time, Rapid SOS is the same way. So when we think about sending video or something of that nature, cell service does garner how that
takes
works.
it, yeah.
So,
Well,
but
I don't even mean to cut you off, sir. Go ahead.
no, it is. It's another one of those great electronic capabilities that have come to us in this new age.
Yeah. Well, the point I was going to say is, we love Mills County. There's how many people are here? 5,000, 5,300
In the
ish.
county?
Yeah.
City limits is like 4,800 in there.
Yeah.
3,800.
We're about 4,800 in the county. So we're
4,800.
still a small county. The city of Goldthwaite itself, last census, about 1385.
Is it?
So, and of course, that's last census, right?
Yeah.
So that's been 2020, right?
Okay. So
When they did
5
that
years
last,
ago,
so,
6 years ago.
And we know that the numbers in Texas are changing a little bit.
Yeah.
This is a happening place, so
We've had an influx.
that brings folks to us. You know,
Yes.
and they come to Goldthwaite, they see how wonderful this community is, or just like each one of us guys. You know, I got here in '96, and as a new highway patrolman, I had every intention of doing my 4 years and then flying on to someplace else. You know, and it didn't take me long to see how nice Mills County is, and look, I'm still hanging around.
I can attest to that. I'm right there with you. I
remember the first time he pulled me over.
It's like it was yesterday. Very fond of it.
Yeah.
Fond memory.
Yeah.
Well,
I was in that new truck I'd bought and didn't have letters on it, and he pulled me over, and he hooked me up with everything I needed to get hold of, and said, "Now next time I see you,
have it fixed."
I remember.
So I went to Nebraska.
My memories
back.
of that were different. Travis was dragging a boat on a rope or something like that.
That was a goat on a rope.
Oh, was that okay?
That sounds right.
Yeah. So whenever I stayed out for a while, when I come home, I had my letters.
Yeah.
And I pulled up there to quick check because I lived over there by where you live, where I used to live. And he's coming this way, and he just waved.
Yeah.
He never had to turn his lights on. I pulled over out there at the John Deere house, and I said, "I ain't got my stickers on here because it's damp. It won't stick." I'll give him all my paperwork and everything.
Sure.
And then
Good
I
deal.
never had any trouble with him after that.
There you go. Well, get your letters right, boys.
No,
That
Travis.
was in
I didn't.
2000.
There's a lot of things that have escaped my
2001.
memory since then. Yes,
Yeah. You've done a lot since
your
then.
memory
buddy.
is much better than mine.
We'll point to that 4,800 in the county. How many people do we have patrolling the county at any given time as average? 2?
Russ,
maybe 3 at most.
You've hit the nail on the head there. Yeah.
Yeah.
where are they at and what time are they there?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When you think about that, we try to have 2 deputies on during the nights, but like we talked about earlier, we're short one.
Yeah.
We're training one, so that puts us short a little bit. So, most of the time, that's one deputy. If we're fortunate enough to have a highway patrolman around, there might be a highway patrolman. But most of the time, when I think of Mills County, that's one deputy.
Yeah, and that's the point I was getting at with this going full circle back to the schools. Pretty, you said it's probably a 15 to 20 minute dispatch to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Mullins anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes.
I can do
minutes.
that in a Peterbilt. I bet you they can knock it about like 5.
Yeah, I bet you can. Yeah, but the point of that is, a lot of these school shootings or any kind of violence, it's a matter of seconds when it happens and it's over. So, that's the beauty of Mills County is it's country living, and the also some of the part of Mills County that some people need to be patient with is you got one deputy and he's over there in Pretty, and you're in south, you're south of Mills County.
You're exactly
30-minute drive.
Yep,
So.
you're exactly right, Russ. And that was one of the things that we talked about with the staff out there at Pretty. They are the northernmost part of the county, and if we're out there on 574 and 45, my goodness, that's going to be a little bit of a time. Mm-hmm. So yes, we did discuss that with them, and that that they may very well be dealing with that for 15 or 20 minutes. So the nature of the beast, it is a wonderful place. It is a rural part of Texas, and just some of the complications of, right?
Yeah.
So
it's part of the.
You can talk about more manpower, but budget's been one of the things that we've been working on, for about the last 30 days. And when you think about that, Mills County is not any different than any other rural Texas county. Money's a thing.
Yes.
And when there's not a lot of it, you do the best we can. And I'll have to say, in that circumstance, whether that be car crashes or whatever it is, I'm going to give the firemen another plug, because I have worked as a troop myself, being out there with one deputy, and somebody gets away, and you might have 14 firemen after you.
Yeah.
And I promise you better be more worried about them than you are the deputy. Cause,
for sure.
Bunch of old country boys with a boomstick.
And, and they're looking for trouble, and they're not wearing a body cam, a circumstance like that is fun for them. But it is a great part of rural country living, and they help us a lot. So we're glad to have them around.
Yes, sir. Well, going to kind of take a break here, let everybody know we have 5 in the chat now talking to us. If y'all have some questions for Sherriff Jones, y'all feel free to ask them.
Yeah.
And we'll get
we'll leave you. We'll
ask
leave
some questions.
Out.
We'd love to have you. Yeah. And again, we know that we love our little county, and certainly the ones that are working hard. And Travis asked a question earlier. I'll go ahead and let you ask it about the personnel, who we have, where we at.
Oh yeah, the new guys. We got a bunch of young local guys.
Boy, we absolutely do. And, I'm glad y'all brought that up, because in my mind, it's always better to have those folks that are from the community that, everybody already knows of them. They know what kind of a person they are, and they make exceptional deputies.
Yeah.
And,
and they know the place.
We'll have to talk about Son Drake a little bit.
Sure.
Because he was the genesis of that program. Mm-hmm. And, that wasn't something that it was new to the county, new to the commissioners, even new to Clint at the time that was doing that. And, they thought that was a good idea to do that, and it really turned out well. Mm-hmm. So the opportunity for us to do that again, presented itself several times, and we do have a great group. Brian Miller has done very well. We're proud of him. He's making an exceptional hand. Troy Webb.
Yes.
Tommy Purcell, Brian and Tommy did that together. So it has turned out very well. Our latest one is Danner Udy, and Preacher's son. Yes, Danner's doing very well. So we've been fortunate. We absolutely have been smiled on. A light shined on the sheriff's office for sure. And each one of those guys didn't have to go around and meet the community.
Right.
We didn't have to go up to the judge's office with them and say, this is who this is. They already knew them, and they knew that they were going to be exceptional when they got there. So anytime a community can have someone from their community that's now governing with them in the community.
That's great.
It works out great. It absolutely does.
And it's not only happening in the sheriff's office, it's also happening in a lot of our businesses. MC Bank. You go in there and talk to the loan officers, you're going to deal with Epi, Valencia or Chase Sides, and then Bartex is there as well. It's like you have that comfort of dealing with the boys you grew up with, and or you did, I didn't, but boys and so I think that means something for us as a community. Who are we lacking? You said we're short. What positions would you like to see filled?
So I had a retired APD man that was filling our investigator position, and some of the community had an opportunity to meet Courtney Renfro, and Courtney had some medical issues, and he decided that his best path forward for him was retirement. So we're currently have an ad out for an investigator. So if there's somebody out there listening that says, "Hey,
Travis?
I'd like to be an investigator for,"
I can investigate it.
you know what the process is, don't
you
you?
can turn over a rock and see what's under that, can't you, Travis?
We talked
Absolutely.
about that before we got started. I always kind of wanted to get in like the cattle association. You see the sign, Southwest Texas, investigator, livestock, ag deal, would be very cool. Or brand inspector. I need to be a Texas Ranger.
Hey, Travis, I don't know that you know this, but I work for the sheriff's department. You know that?
Yeah.
I got a badge.
Do you?
Yeah, look at my badge.
Huh.
Let me turn it up for you first. That's my badge. Yeah, see there? Huh?
Russ,
official.
I'm glad you brought that up, and you asked me a while ago what were some of the initiatives, some of the new programs that we've started at the sheriff's office, and y'all have to give Russ a little plug because he has come on with us to be one of our chaplains. Russ, and you have some partners too, don't you?
Yes. Stuart Farrell and also
Carl Spruill
from Church of Christ. Yeah,
absolutely. Stuart's done it for, my goodness.
Yeah,
Stuart Farrell
decades.
He's been a chaplain in this community for a long time. He worked for Clint, probably pretty much the whole time Clint was there.
Yeah.
But to have three, and the advantages that an office has, that a jail has, Russ. Y'all do some work in the back.
Yes, we do.
Jail ministry. And we're proud of that.
Yes.
Chaplaincy service is a very important program, and that is one of the things that we wanted to do at the sheriff's office. And it was great to have three gentlemen step forward and provide their services. And, I'm going to say it out loud, Russ. Y'all do that for free.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well,
and we can't thank you enough because that's a service that is vital. We saw some of the benefits of that this morning. So
yes.
It's a great program, and we're really glad to have you on.
So this morning, Travis, to catch you up and everyone else, we had a baptism there at the jail, at the Sally Port there.
Waterboarding's not a baptism.
That's true. That's true. But we had a good group. First Baptist Church, I want to give the little plug. First Baptist Church is doing the jail ministry right now, doing a wonderful job. I think churches throughout our community and have been serving 2 months at a time, doing the jail ministry, going and preaching and teaching to these inmates on Tuesday evenings. And so it's been that good, and we're seeing a response to that. I don't know how many times we've used that baptistry there at this church. I would dare to say 15 to 20 times since we've had it. We even haven't had it that long. So let's praise God to all the ones that are doing that. Also, to go back to that, my heart is for you guys, the sheriffs and the deputies, that you guys see things that you can't unsee. You deal with things and people that
you wish you didn't.
You wish you didn't. And those memories, my goodness, PTSD and all those things, that's real. And if we can be there and be a voice for you guys and be not a voice, but a ear more than anything.
Yep.
And be there for you guys. So I know you sheriff deputies are Big Son Drakes and, Tony Pools of the world and Parcells. Don't pull me aside and say, hey, man, this is bothering me. Yeah. This is what's going on with this situation that I remember. And we can pray about it, talk about it, and unburden yourself a little bit.
Talk about stuff like that.
Marcel talk about anything, won't he?
Yeah. chicken fried
He's
steak.
great. That's right.
Biscuits and gravy.
That's right. But anyways, I wanted to speak to that. That doesn't just pertain to the deputies, you as well, Sheriff. Anything that
While we're
y'all
talking
see.
about James, we'll shout out to James and tell him to get well soon. So James is having some difficulties right now, and we'll say, James, we hope you get better because he is wrestling a little bit. So
okay,
we hope that he does.
Hey, I didn't know that.
I can fix him. I got a sharp knife.
Yeah. Funny thing, James is actually the one that told him. I think it was on podcast. It says if Amy were to kill him, they'd figure out a way to make it an accident.
Well, we still had the swimming pool. And I think I've told this before. We still had the swimming pool. And he said, we could come up here and find you bleeding in the living room with a hatchet in the back of your head, and we'll say you fell getting in the shower. I said, man, thanks a lot, dude. But no, I was sitting there reading a question I was going to ask you, but back to the baptism. Did you baptize them at the church? At the
Sally Port, yes, sir, right there at the jailhouse. They brought a trailer in today. Yeah. Brady Roundtree, I guess, was the baptism, or the one that did the baptism on behalf of First Baptist Church. And we all witnessed it. And, I want to do another little shout-out pertaining to the Sheriff's Department. Guy Burns has been, he is now clergy as well. Not clergy with the Sheriff's Department, but he is allowed to be clergy. He's been ordained as clergy through our church, and he has the ability now to go back there and talk to inmates that he couldn't previously, which has been good. And Guy Burns has a wonderful testimony and story, and he's turned into an incredible employee for you guys, hasn't he?
He absolutely has. And, you talk about guys work in the back. Guy does a whole lot of work in the front. So he's one of those kind of guys that every time you look up, guys there, doing something. He just is one of those exceptional human beings that found himself on the right road. And, that's quite a feat coming from where a guy came from. And the only thing that tells all of us is, even those guys that we baptized in there, and I want to talk some more about that, Russ, before we get away from it. But anyway, Guy is exceptional. Another one of those great individuals that say, "Look, it can happen." Here's a standing live example of that. Yeah. And Guy can testify to it, and he does. And I know it's an encouragement for a lot of those people that he talks to. So oftentimes they can hear somebody say, "You can do it," but Guy's standing there saying, "I know you can do it because I've done it.
I did it.
I've seen me do it." Yeah,
that's right.
So, Russ, one other thing I want to say, that was today was that water trough baptism.
That's right.
It might have happened like that a lot of times years ago. So that's exactly what happened this morning, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, no, to that point, going back to Guy Burns, he was baptized in that same situation at a Mills County jail facility 30 plus years ago, or 25 plus years ago. I don't know exactly how many, but he said when I came out of that water, he was a changed man, and he then served 20 plus years in the penitentiary after being saved. And praise God, his complete restoration now, has a beautiful wife, a lovely family, grandkids, a whole kit caboodle that God took and restored. So just anyways, great stuff all the way around as far as the sheriff's office and the situations and the personnel and everything else. So thank you, Sheriff, for all your hard work and
we talked about some of the new ones that we've got in the front, and I've got just as many new ones in the back. So we've had pretty much a complete turnaround since we took office up there. Since I took office up there, I say we. I mean, Anthony came with me.
Yes.
He's another superstar. I was so glad that Anthony stayed on with me to help with that. He learned and saw a lot of things in the year that he did it. So, to have Anthony stay there and help me with that has just been a great thing for me.
He's a good right hand, isn't he?
Yes, he absolutely is. And I lean on him. I don't know. I lean pretty hard on Anthony, so he's a great hand. But we've got 4 new ones in the back too, and those are also community folks. Nancy Fletcher just came on with us.
I remember that. Yeah.
Okay.
Michelle Baird, they're here. Those folks that have scanners are hearing those individuals on one of our move-ins. I get to call somebody a move-in. I've been here for 30 years, and I get called a move-in.
You're kind of on the line, man. You did move here in the 1900s, so.
We have some.
Just a little bit. Turn it your way a little bit.
Yeah. We have some
there you go.
up there that are, and Gage is doing a fantastic job for us up there. So I was trying to remember where Gage came from, Maryland or something like that.
Really?
His dad's in the military, but, Gage has been wonderful. So several, but I'll tell you.
He's not a Yankee because Mason Dixon line's above him there.
Oh,
you were talking about wanting to get into that field of work, Travis. We've got an opening for a dispatcher back there. If you want to, that's where you learn all the 10 codes and all that kind of stuff, and how to run 7 computers at one time. And it might be a good spot for you to start.
To get my mind busy.
That's right.
Yeah.
You need.
You could get a little time in the back, so you'd know that you never want to go there.
Yeah. I like it
anymore.
But I don't know. I'd be like, hey, y'all need to get over here right now.
Yeah. I don't know what they said.
Yeah. I'll get the codes all mixed up. I'd be calling a force fire and it's a dang robbery or something.
Oh boy,
it's a handful. That is a lot of work back there. But we are looking for one. So there again, while I'm talking to all of these people out there that are listening to y'all's program, if somebody feels the inclination that they want to get themselves involved in the field of law enforcement,
well, let me ask you,
we'd be glad to have you.
Let me ask you this: if someone were to apply to the dispatch position, how would they go about doing that?
All they'd have to do is come by and see Melissa, and she'd fix them up with an application. Absolutely.
Get an application from Melissa, and
and I think it's even on our website. So,
so it's on the website, and I don't want to get too far in the weeds. I'm sure experience has something to do with that. But what would a pay of that, something like that, be?
So, jailer dispatcher starts at $19.
Okay.
I believe $19 an hour. There may be some change associated with that, but that's something. If we're reaching someone that's already certified in both of those positions, it starts even higher. But that's another one of those places that will train you.
Okay.
We'll get all the training for you. We'll send you to school. We'll do all that. All you've got to do is bring your energy and initiative and inclination, and we'll get you started.
Well, let me ask you this real question here: is it state benefits in that, or how's that, or do you work into that, or what? I don't want to get lost in the weeds here, but that's a big deal nowadays.
Yeah.
Yes, when you think about insurance and things of that nature, the county does provide that.
Okay.
The county's got a pretty good insurance program. I know that every year we talk about that, it goes up exponentially. So I hope that it's
well, right there is worth a lot, right?
Yes.
There, so
I got. Oh, go ahead.
It's just it's hard work, but it's rewarding work.
Sure.
Anytime that those guys, I look at what they do back there and I think, oh my goodness, how does someone manage that much going on all at one time? It is rewarding. I mean, it's a great job.
Speaking of rewarding, I got a question come in here. We hear a lot of bad guy stories and such, but are there any positive situations that were rewarding to you as a sheriff or state trooper that I mean,
it's good.
You know what I mean? We may have covered some of that, but
probably one of the most rewarding things that I think about, law enforcement does lots of things for lots of people, and that is one of the things that we get a lot of compliments about on our website. Tommy stopped out with one, and I know you were asking about me, Travis, but I have to tell Tommy's story first. A person disabled out of town out there, and I don't remember if it was a mechanical issue or a flat tire or what it was, but Tommy stopped with them, stayed with them until that was rectified. And when you're stranded on the side of the road, that's an important thing. So that is, another one of the things that we try to do. But, I look back in my career, and when I think about, I've picked up people walking on the road, 20 miles south of town. And when you think about what the temperature was today, and you don't have a bottle of water, that's tough. You're in a tough spot.
That asphalt gets hot.
Yeah.
So as a conscientious lawman, each one tries to do that. I'm not going to say that, I was the only one that ever did that, because I wasn't. I've stopped and changed tires. I've stopped and bought tires for people that didn't have money to buy tires. So it's just it's an advantage of the job that you have. You have the ability to stop and help those folks, and you can, and it's good for them. The worst place you can be, and I've been there myself, is on the side of the road with some kind of mechanical difficulty or something of that nature.
Yeah, for sure. And you're, and then I think it's been good as a part of the Ministerial Alliance and the ministry there about just how the Sheriff's Department has been so beneficial and willing to help passer throughs, and even squatters at times.
Yeah.
Look, they're just there and need help. And
Well, I spend 8, 10, 12 hours a day on the road every day, and just the amount of the traffic and the people that don't pull over, don't move over.
Sure.
I mean, there'll be somebody sitting on the side of the road, the door open, and people,
Yeah.
you can tell they ain't paying attention to what they're doing.
Well, but sadly, that's scary now.
Yeah. Well, it's like that record driver got hit out here, and you see the stuff like that all the time. Somebody look through a stoplight, not it,
Yeah.
We have one of our local citizens, that was injured. He had stopped out to help somebody with a flat and was injured, so it is a terrible place to be. So, anytime we can stop and help someone with that, and I've tried to always be that way myself because I've been there. I know what kind of a circumstance they're in.
Sure.
I've worked those crashes, so it's just, it's a great opportunity.
Absolutely. We have 7 in the chat now. We have
Ask your
Sherriff
questions.
Jones here with us. You guys feel free to ask some questions. No, I was not trying to apply for the dispatch position.
You got the
Edgar thought I
haircut,
was.
man.
Yeah.
You know what, Russ, you would be good because I've listened to you on. I've listened
He's
to
a
you
big
here,
guy,
and
too.
I've listened to you
Yeah.
at our football games
Oh,
and things
thank
of that nature. So a lot of what that job is talking.
Whole lot
Russ.
of talking.
So,
Well, I'm full of useless knowledge. That works out well.
brother calls that useless information. What he calls that.
there you
Yes.
go.
So yep.
There's a whole room full of it right now.
Well, no, if y'all, like I said, if y'all do have some questions for Sherriff Jones, feel free to ask. We will make sure that we get them to him.
I
Sheriff,
picked a hitchhiker once.
Did you really?
Yeah. I got in there and was going down the road, and he said, "Man, you ain't concerned about me being a serial killer?" I said, "What's the chances of 2 of being in the same vehicle?" No, I did pick this one. I did I took a trailer out to California, and I was bobtailing back, and this dude was walking, and he had a guitar, and he's like, "Man, I need a ride." Well, that's all he did. He'd
that's
go
a
find
David Allen
jobs.
Cole song.
Yeah, well, I almost lived it. I gave him a ride to Fort Stockton. He tried to get in the truck. I was like, "No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and pay for fuel. You can get in when I get in." Because I had a 357 behind that seat,
Uh-huh.
and then another one on the other side. So, I mean, I wasn't scared of him. Or
Sure,
nothing,
sure, sure.
But I gave him a ride to. I mean, that's all he done. He just traveled around. He'd find a little job here, and he'd get tired of it. He'd pack his bag and take off.
Travis, that reminded me of a story. We had a cow truck turned over in the middle of 16 down there lots of years ago, and I don't know if you
man.
remember that or not.
I
Going
feel
towards
like
San
I do.
Salvador.
Right there at 16 and 183.
Seems like I do,
You know,
yeah.
and I got called to
He
work
was
that.
yeah.
And I taught for lots of years. I taught commercial motor vehicle crash reconstruction, so I got a lot of opportunities to tell that story. But, the question always was, would a cow truck driver ever let a hitchhiker drive his truck? And I could always answer that.
That question.
Yeah.
He absolutely
retired.
will. Yeah.
Well,
But the hitchhiker was driving and laid it over right there where the Dollar General
Well,
is. wasn't
it wasn't really his fault, Travis,
Yeah.
because the cow truck driver forgot to tell him that none of the trailer brakes on the truck worked.
oh, that's a big deal.
So he got him into high gear, and when you come rolling in a Goldthwaite at 70 around that corner there,
yeah.
and it's not stopping like you think it should.
No, and you got live weight back there.
Yeah,
There's
it
a dollar store in the way now.
It probably got pretty. I tell you what, it was exciting enough for him that when all of the action stopped, his best inclination was to leave.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
because when I showed up there, of course, certainly you want to know who's driving, right? Who was driving in this crash is always the first question.
Sure.
And the crowd that had gathered there for all the going-ons for the show
Sure.
pointed up the road, and the hitchhiker said, "You know what? That was all the fun I could stand for one day, and I'm going to move on." And we had to go bring him back, and he did admit, "Yes, I was driving the truck."
Wow.
And we asked him, "Had you ever drove a truck before?" And he said, "That was the question that the cow truck driver asked him when he stopped and picked him up." And the answer was the same: "No, I haven't." And he said, "Don't worry about it. I'll get you rolling, and we'll move on down the road." And he forgot to. He did do a good job at telling him how to get it rolling. He just didn't do a good job of telling him how to
How to get a stop.
not get it rolling.
Yeah.
So
Well, let me ask you, we're going on 45 minutes now. You have several topics you want to
Yeah, and
Get
that
addressed.
bottom one, I want to make sure we address that because
Well-
all the hoorah about that.
Well, but I want you to go ahead and feel free. I want you to feel free to go as long as you want. But
you know, Russ, I was waiting to see if we would get that question,
Yes,
and
sir.
I'm surprised that we didn't out of
Yes,
your
sir.
chat there. So I'm going to bring it up. You
Okay.
know, a lot of the talk in town has been about the flock cameras, and folks are concerned, and I get it. I
It's the first I'm
absolutely
hearing of
get
this.
it.
Really?
Yes.
Uh,
We got them everywhere.
you know, everybody's watching you.
Hitting the sand.
And the flock camera system, that's basically cameras that are set up on, and let's go ahead and get it out in the open. Those things are set up on state right away. You know, and the state has every ability, every right, every whatever you want to call it, to put them there. They absolutely can.
Okay.
It's
But
not
when
a
you-
county deal. It's
It's a state deal.
Yeah, and you know, I was never approached about that.
Okay.
The state doesn't need my permission to
They
do
don't care
that.
what you think or I think.
It's exactly right. That highway belongs to them, and that right of way belongs to them, and they can put on it whatever they want to. But you know, when we think about a camera system,
Technically, it's taxpayers' highway.
it does belong to the citizens of the state of Texas, and the
Yeah.
citizens of the state of Texas just need to know that they're watched over
Sure.
closely for their own safety.
Yeah, and that's
And
what
that's
I'm
what
saying.
that is.
There's a reason for that camera.
They
That's
don't
what that
bother
is
me.
all about.
If you don't do
The
anything
only
wrong,
thing that would bother me
You know?
is like I've heard that they can access your phone information and stuff.
oh,
But to me, if you ain't got nothing to hide, what I like about them is like the alerts. You know, child. You know, and it's like
Yeah.
this deal son. He
You
used to
know,
have in his car.
I-
Picks up a license plate of a truck that was stolen.
I'm glad you brought that up, Travis, because that's exactly what they do. Amber Alerts, you know, those cameras all over the state. And I won't say Mills County; those cameras are all over the state.
Right.
They've been up for a long time, you know, and
Okay.
people just didn't know that
Just
when
didn't
they
notice
left
it.
Mills County,
Yep.
that they were still on camera systems. And actually, I don't know, where can you go right now that you're not on a camera system?
No, somebody's recording something, or
well, yeah,
You're
take
in
like
your house.
yeah.
that's right.
That's it.
We actually talked about this today when I was up there at the sheriff's office. Is, you know, we live. Mills County is a drug highway, as far as people going from Mexico to Colorado. Right? I mean, how
Well,
is that
you know,
working?
16 goes from the bottom of Texas to the top of the 48.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
you know, you're exactly right. That is a drug corridor. 183 is another one.
Yeah.
And I could sit here for the next 45 minutes, Russ,
Mm-hmm.
and tell you what an excellent job the boys do about interdicting that stuff. So we
Yeah.
can prove it. It absolutely is.
But those cameras, to that point, those cameras are there. Hey, if you got somebody, you know,
I watch
you
these,
can
a lot
track
of these
them.
crime shows and stuff, and the
Yeah.
old stuff, and then they're going around getting surveillance cameras off of
Yeah.
you know, businesses and
Yeah.
stuff. Well, if you know what they're driving, those things will pick it up. I mean, we're looking for this license plate. I mean,
Right.
as soon as it crosses it, boom, y'all get a signal.
Well,
can
it
track
just happened a couple of weekends ago, actually. You know, we
Yeah,
picked
wow.
up a stolen vehicle
Here
here
in
in
Mills
Mills County. Absolutely.
No kidding.
You know, the criminals, that is, law enforcement has learned that the criminals have to travel.
Sure.
yeah,
And if we can get them out there where they're not, you know, in the middle of their whatever, hideout, home, whatever you want to call it, you know,
Yeah.
that's the best place. That's the most acceptable place to find them. So,
Correct.
and when they're moving their illegal contraband and things of that nature,
yeah.
that's when they need to be gathered up.
That's
They
right.
can't
And
pick up
none
speed,
of us,
do they?
none of us want that stuff in this county. We don't. I
That's the world
don't
we
know
live
of
in now.
anybody
Yeah.
in Mills County that wants that here,
Right.
or would approve of anyone moving it to any county in Texas. So if we
Right.
can interdict that here, we're going to be doing that. That flock
Absolutely.
camera system was very beneficial,
Yeah.
guys. You know, it hadn't been that long ago since Hoff Power was hit with about $300,000 worth of theft.
No kidding.
Like 3 gooseneck loads of stuff.
Absolutely, and
No
you know
kidding.
that's a lot of money
Oh, man.
for a business to have to
Yeah.
absorb. And
$250,000 just.
you know, that camera system was very beneficial in solving that.
Golly.
So, as
Oh, the flock deals is what got him.
Yeah.
Found him?
I won't say that's what caught him, because there has to be a lot of investigative work done
Right.
with
But
that. But it's
it
another
aided.
tool. You know,
Yeah,
when you look
yeah.
in that
Right.
toolbox and you have something besides a crescent, you know,
Yeah.
you can just do a lot more work with that.
Absolutely.
So
it aided to the tracking, I'm sure.
it absolutely did. Yes. It helped us with that one. It helped us with the one at the Ford House. So, you know, as folks are disgruntled with being watched, they're going to be watched in any Walmart they go into, any
Correct.
store they go into. They drive by a house that has a Ring door camera on it.
That's right.
It's there too. So, you know, if you're driving up and down Fisher Street, you're on how many different camera systems? Yeah, a bunch.
Absolutely.
You absolutely are.
Absolutely.
So it's nothing to be unhappy about. It's not. There's a lot of things that it does that is for the benefit of our community.
Oh, you want to repeat the comment?
You go ahead.
Well, Edgar says this, and I agree wholeheartedly with him. The people that don't like the cameras have something to hide.
Yeah.
If you're not doing anything wrong, what does it matter? You know, they're for safety. They're for the betterment of keeping our community safe. Look, if they can help track and get a bad guy off the
Yeah.
street or a bad person off the street, great.
They're great in help keeping our state safe.
That's right.
Do
You know,
pick up
and
speeders.
we live in Texas just like everybody else, and we know that they're the terminology that I like to use is with the ships come the rats, right?
That's right.
Yep.
So,
That's right.
you know, if we can help mitigate that and we can use a flock camera system to do
Yeah.
that, you know, fantastic.
Very
I'm
good.
glad they're there. I know that they're a little bit discouraging to some, but like you just said,
I didn't notice it. I'm oblivious to them. You telling me that we have them? It's the first time I've ever heard it. So,
it has been disturbing for some, but I think once they get their mind around what they're doing and how much they're actually on video anyway,
yeah.
you know, it's just
Well, I mean, anytime you put your phone right here, you're on the camera, whether
yeah.
you put your camera on or not. They're tracking you. So,
yep.
just FYI. So, anyways, go ahead, sir. What else we have? What other topics do you want to tackle
You know,
as far as the community and
Russ,
sheriff?
I was just going to let our community know there's, you know, several community initiatives that we've implemented at the sheriff's office, and we talked a little bit about it when we talked about shaking the doors at the school, but we also doing it for the businesses in town.
Yes.
You know, we go around at night and, you know, we look to see how many doors are left open.
Yeah.
You know, whether that door was left open or whether that door had been opened, right? So
Sure, and you can tell.
one of the things that we also do, you know, it gives the boys something to do. You're roaming around out there at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we know that, you know, 2 o'clock Tuesday morning in Mills County is pretty quiet. So that's a great time to be, you know, looking and making sure our businesses are safe. If we're looking in the business and anybody else that's roaming around, we talked about those thefts, right, at the Ford House and at Hoff Power.
Yeah.
You know, so if we're poking around in those kinds of places, that's just a deterrent. So some
I
of the
agree.
things
It's
that we
Kind of
like
like
to
the
do.
old school watchmen, the night watchmen used to have them keys.
Absolutely.
They had to go check in or
Yeah.
I
whatever.
will say this.
I think your neighbor used to do.
You know, we come into these home from these ball games in the wee hours of the night. Fridays basketball, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, whatever it is, Mondays, and you know, your only car you think on the road until you see a sheriff's deputy. You know, and you know, I can't tell you how many times I think they pulled Richie over like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, dude, he looks guilty though.
Well, before he got his little RAV4 he has now, he had this white.
yeah,
I don't know what it was.
he looked like a mule going down the road.
Looked like a drug car. And he lays down when he drives.
Turns out
so,
it was a clown car.
Yeah, and so they pulled him over like 3 or 4 times. He's coming home from my house after watching a movie or something to midnight. So I'm like, well, dude, this is Mills County, buddy. Yeah, be aware.
Well, and I'll tell you, we are inquisitive. And Russ, I'm glad you brought that up because one of the things that we're very proactive about, and I want the community to know that. I want the state to know that. We're very proactive about any kind of illegal activity. We just are. And I think as long as we're proactive, then we oftentimes won't have to be as reactive, right?
Right.
So we don't want that there. Kind of the reputation that we don't mind having is go around us.
Sure.
You know, I did that before with big trucks. And, you know, if you can come through here and keep your stuff in order, we're glad to have you.
Yeah,
if you can't,
sure.
maybe you need a different route.
Detour.
So,
Well, and here's the thing too, and living in Mills County now for almost going on 11 years, the town shuts down at any given time, especially in the weekdays, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock at the latest. There's not a store going to be open at 10 o'clock other than Cahoots, and I think it's pretty much shut down. You know, Dairy Queen's shut down.
they're trying to leave. They are. They're trying to leave at 10
So
o'clock.
the point of that is everybody from the local folks know that. And the local folks are normally in their house,
Winding
put
down
away.
too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so it makes it nice on the sheriffs, you know, that we don't have a, 24/7, beer joint, you know.
You know what I used to do? I used to I'll tell it now because statute of limitations, I guess. I'd be coming back from Nebraska or something, load of bulls for Pat Griswold, and I'd be getting kind of tired, and I'd come through Pretty about 3, 4 in the morning, and that old truck I had straights on it, and I had a train horn on it, and I'd come through Pretty, and I'd drop a gear, and I'd hit them horns all the way through town, and Jake brakes, and then I was nervous wreck all the way down. I'm like, somebody had to call me in because I ain't no. But I don't do that no more. That's old me, James. I used to try to stir up Clinton and boys.
And
That's a friend of mine.
Travis wonders why he stays in trouble all
That's
the time.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I do have a clarification. Richie corrected me. It was a 2001 Buick LeSabre.
Buick LeSabre.
Yeah, that's a doper car if I ever saw one. You need.
Yeah. Oh, it was a
Crown Vic
he
on
loved that
24s.
car though.
Absolutely,
that was his
yes.
favorite car.
Yep.
But anyways, yeah. So
Then
if you
you have
look
to move to
sketchy,
Corsicana.
huh?
That's when I went through Corsicana. There's a pink one, a black one, a white one. Them old Crown Vics.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could go mudding in them.
Oh gosh.
But they had them low profile tires on. They're like,
Oh,
it's riding on 35s.
Oh
You know
my
what I mean?
goodness, that's absurd.
Yeah.
That's absurd. Sorry, Richie, we got it fixed. But yeah, it was still a drug car, no matter what the title of it was.
I forgot how to beep and spell it.
Well, anyways, I don't want to. I want to make sure we hit all the topics as we're starting to wind down.
School's
Sheriff
starting.
Jones.
Watch for drive.
You know,
school
I
buses.
think we did, and you know that's a good topic to bring up, Travis. Thank you for that. Our school buses will be back on the road again. They absolutely
Correct.
will, and you know. The legislature, many sessions back, revisited that, and you know it's very apparent in their thoughts on driving past school buses, and the fines associated with that are exponential. So I will just remind everybody, and that's another one of our programs. I'll have to say that as well. That you know there very likely could be a deputy on that bus. So if you decide to
Sure.
drive by it, it's not going to go well for you.
no,
Those
well,
And
fines
around
are
here,
Huge.
they are. That starts off with a $500.
Correct.
and there's
The
not a
first
highway
one.
in Mills County where you don't have to stop. The only way you don't have to stop is if it's a divided highway on the other
right.
side of the road.
That is not true, Travis.
it's
so
not true?
thank you
Oh,
very
good,
much
good.
for
Thank
bringing
you
that
for
up.
So
correcting
You
that's
know,
not
that's
right. On a divided road.
Okay, tell us.
a divided road. Now, when you say divided road, that has to have
Median.
a earth median in it,
Not a turning
not a
lane.
marked median,
Right,
not a
right.
striped median. So that's a good clarification. It's a good topic to talk about.
Like interstate or something.
Yeah, if there's an
Right.
earthen median in that divided highway, we don't have any of those here, and you said that a while
Right,
ago.
right.
So one of the things that we want to be clear about for those folks out there, so 183 or something of that nature, where you know that's a big road out there, and you think if that school bus is on the other side. And let me say this too, when you read that school bus law, it says highway. Highway is the terminology that it uses. And the slang term that we like to think of is highway is the paved portion, and that is
Yeah.
incorrect. When you look
Okay.
in Texas traffic law, highway is that territory from one fence line to the other. So if that school bus is pulled off of the road onto the bar ditch or into the bar ditch, you still have to
Still
stop.
on the highway. Yeah, gotcha.
It still is on the highway, Russ, and you're exactly
Gotcha.
right. And if it's on the other side of the road of the pavement on the highway, you still have to stop. So what we always told everybody and taught everybody, if there's a school bus out there with its red flashing lights on, your
Yeah.
best choice is to
Just
Yep.
just wait. Here's a good question here, and you may or may not be able to answer this. So we'll preface it with this is from Edgar Arredondo. But he says, how do you feel about the vape shops, and does that affect the job they can do? I guess,
So-
we have two now, I believe.
Yep. How do I feel about the vape shops, and does
Yes.
that affect the job that they do?
Yes.
I'm not going to say how I feel about them. That my personal opinion is
Okay.
doesn't make any difference anyway, right? It would just be,
Irrelevant,
yes, it would be irrelevant. You know, and if they've got a legitimate business in town like anybody else,
Yeah.
they'll be fine. They
Sure.
absolutely will.
Sure.
You know, we talked about it earlier, and if there's no criminal activity involved in any of that, I don't have any bones with them whatsoever.
It's
I
kind of
don't.
like the cameras. If you don't have nothing
Yep.
to hide, don't what are you gonna worry
Exactly.
about?
And, you know, if they're legitimate and they're doing a legitimate business, we're going to have no trouble with them, and they'll have no trouble with us.
Right.
So that would be the point that I would make in reference to that.
Yeah, no, it's a good question, Edgar. I've always, there's so much. Now let's clarify this too, because school is about to start, and that is a new fad, I would say, over the last several years that kids now have gotten into the vaping. And what is the legal ramifications of vaping as pertains to?
Same as cigarettes and alcohol,
Is
isn't
it-
it?
that's what
21?
I'm
It
curious.
absolutely
Yeah.
is. And, you know, one of the things that we did not too terribly long ago was run a sting operation on alcohol. So, you know, be upfront with that as well.
Okay.
That's entirely likely to happen at any time as well. The safety of our community and our kids. We've talked about it for the last 45 minutes, haven't we?
Right.
So, and that's another one of those things.
Yes, sir.
In that sting operation that we ran on the sale of alcohol, that was a problem.
Yeah.
And there was some folks that got tangled up in that, and same thing for the vape shops. If they're again selling to our youngsters, that's not a good thing to do. So, and I don't know of that happening.
Now the legal age is 18.
21.
Is it 21?
I think it's 21. No, you got to be 21 by cigarettes now.
I don't know. Okay, that's good to know. I
They
think
just changed that not long ago, right? The cigarette
say it
snuff.
used to be 18.
So when you get as high up as I am, that's not one of the things that I
think about it.
look at often enough to be able to
Yeah.
be saying, but it would be something I would have to look up. But
The age.
age,
Yeah,
yes.
You got to be
So
21 by cigarette snuff anymore.
Okay, well there you go.
change
So
that.
if you're in high school at any point
vape
and you
them.
shouldn't have it, right?
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
21, you should be in college.
And I think that's with the Zen things too. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. They got nicotine
well,
in them.
Travis was probably the only one that was 21, still a senior in school. So
Well, Travis was the one smoking too in high school. He'd already talked
I
about
was,
that.
Yeah. Cross
so-
country, man. I knew where we was going. I'd stash me a pack.
Oh, it's a
And
mess.
still whoop everybody.
Yeah.
well, and that's what I was fixing to say. Nobody can understand how Travis could run that far and still smoke a cigarette, but while he was running. But
Yeah.
Hey, I'm working on it now, though. believe it or
He's
not.
doing good.
Yeah.
Doing good. It's getting healthy.
running and smoking.
Well,
Well, I
that.
smoke before I go to the gym. I smoke coming out. I'm working on
He don't
quitting
smoke,
that, but one
he
vice
don't
at a
smoke
time.
anymore. He just doesn't smoke
Yeah.
any less.
You won't believe it. I go to the gym every day, every 4 o'clock every morning. Me and
Just smoke.
on the way.
It's fat away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Man, I'll
let me
tell you
ask
what,
you this
cigarettes
before
are the
before we close up
worst
shop.
thing.
You have been married to your bride. Told me her name,
Karen.
Karen, for how many years?
Oh my goodness! I didn't know you was going to ask
Sorry,
me questions
I
like
know.
that. Forever, Russ. You know what?
Long.
You putting him on the
My,
spot.
my
You
little
gotta whip him.
bride, I met in 1981.
Okay.
And
Year I was born.
I've had
45
her,
years ago.
I've had her. How old are you, Travis? 45.
1981.
Yeah.
Okay,
March.
that's how long I've had her. Or
So
she's
me and-
had me or something, right?
So here. Look here. Me and Travis. What day were you born? March
4th,
March 4th.
1981.
I was born March 16th, 1981.
Yeah. So
So-
I've had my little
12
bride
days.
as long as both of you have been around,
Yeah.
Well, dang.
and she's
That's
still
great.
just as much fun as she was
That's
in
right.
1981.
That's awesome.
Still
That's
puts
awesome.
up with me, so I guess
Very
I'm,
good.
I'm
Makes
doing
you
all
say
right.
Put up with a lot.
Yes.
My goodness. Ask her. Well, don't ask her, Travis. That might not go well.
I don't know if we've asked you this. It has several years ago, but you're on lunch break and you're going to take your deputies out to lunch. Where are you taking your deputies to lunch? In Goldthwaite, Texas.
You know what? I can't say that that's any one place because we may hit the Quick Check and we may
I
hit
know where we
went
today.
you
quick lunch
we'll
at
show up
Quick
at
Check lunch.
Tapatio, and we've even been known to eat at La Hacienda. So
Yeah,
you
it's
just
great.
might. We have some great eating establishments in
Yes, sir.
Goldthwaite, and we're proud of all of them.
Absolutely.
So we do.
Where are you going to take your wife on a Friday night? On
Yeah.
the anniversary.
Oh, big
Anniversary.
Big
Yeah.
Okay.
About
Nice.
that
So
thing.
travel's no option or object or
We know
money.
money's not option.
We might really splurge on a circumstance like that, and get in a truck and drive to Waffle House or something in
Oh,
just for the
Austin
fights,
or
right?
something like that. Yeah,
Just a Waffle House, man.
just
That's
to
it. That's it.
splurge.
My people.
I mean, do you know what you can get at Waffle House?
Oh, yeah, forget
Chicken
about it.
and waffles.
That's right. And they cook it in
together
front
at the
of you.
same time. Absolutely. So yes.
That's right. That's great.
Well, she wouldn't care. She didn't have to
Sure.
cook it. So yeah,
That's right.
She would
So-
be tickled to death.
That's a meal we don't have to pay to cook. That's right.
Yep.
Well, Sheriff Jones, you have anything else for us tonight?
I just want to say thanks, both of you, for giving me the
Yes, sir.
opportunity, letting the community hear.
Yes, sir.
So it's fantastic. So always glad to come on. Always appreciate the invite.
Yes, sir.
So thank you very much.
Can we get a deputy on sometime?
Absolutely.
Oh, we'd love that. That'd be great.
Yep.
So-
Absolutely.
We're about to close up shop. It's about 5 after 8 here, and 7 of us watching. Guys, if you have any more questions, now's your time. Get them in. Otherwise, we're going to let the sheriff go about his day. Just a reminder, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. There's 7 of you. There's only 4 thumbs up. So give me a thumbs up. That helps the channel, promotes the channel, and then put it on Facebook. Share it. You can go down there to the share button and put it on Facebook on your page, and that just gives us more exposure. We have 154 subscribers right now, so we would love to have more. Not again. If you hit the subscribe button, then you get the notifications of when the next and the latest podcast is going to be out and about. So
Hey,
it's really
I got
good to
a few
do.
things to
All
bring
right.
up. They're happening Saturday. I meant to mention.
Go for it.
Down at the Courthouse Square, the Syntex Melons, Farm Fresh Watermelons and Cantaloupes.
Okay.
Saturday from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the courthouse. Darren Massey.
And they're selling watermelons and cantaloupes. Huh? That's great.
And then make sure you go by Sutherland Photography and check out all kinds of goodies they got down there.
Okay.
Oh, those
They're
guys
doing
do
like
some
an open house?
fantastic
Yeah.
work. Yeah, they can come out of the sheriff's office and see what kind of great work Sutherland's does, though.
Okay.
We've got some stuff down there from them as well, so they do
And then
fantastic
Caitlin
bunch.
Sutherland, she's got that produce stand out
Yeah.
in the valley, so it's an honor system.
Okay.
But everything they've got's homegrown made, and then they'll even take your picture while you're down there.
Well, now we've started. We're in August. This is August 6th. Just FYI for you guys. Again, share this. This is another reason to share this. Our new month has food banks. We'll have our food bank here this coming Tuesday. That'll be, I don't know exactly the date. Let me look at the date real quick. That'll be August 11th, and we'll be here in the morning until the food's gone. Then also the Evangelistic Center also has a food pantry. So there's no reason to go hungry in Mills County with the food that we have available. We have the blessing boxes at Fellowship and First Baptist Mullen. We have MA, we have help if you need it. One of that is this is a wonderful community, and we love to help our community. And there's no reason to ever go hungry. I can't tell you how much food we actually throw away because it's more than we give out. So that's again going to be here on the 11th, and then also the Evangelistic Center on the 11th, and then the 25th will be back at the Evangelistic Center for the food pantry. Back to school is going to be the 19th of August. Everybody goes back to school on the 19th. The Meet the Eagles will be at Gary Prophet Stadium, Eagle Field, on the 22nd.
Yeah.
On the 22nd.
Yep.
And just to go back, circle all the way around, the 14th, a week from tomorrow, will be the first boys in action at
Mason here.
at Mason. There'll be a scrimmage against Mason here.
And then the next Friday is Christoval there. And
Christoval
I think he's the head coach, Tanner McLean. He went to school here.
Oh,
he's
really?
the coach over there, yeah.
Okay.
I think here, and I can't remember. It's
Gotcha.
Pace Lewis's stepson, I believe.
So August is full.
Yeah.
August is going to get back into the routine. Friday Night Lights.
28
Sherriff
will be
Jones,
football.
last year you threw out the coin toss at the Friday Night football game. Hope to get to see that again this year. A lot of fun. How fun was that experience?
It was. I enjoyed that. Certainly the first time that I've ever done it. So it would be great to have that
Awesome.
privilege and opportunity to do it again. So
Awesome. Well,
thank
He
you
said,
very much.
heads we win, tails y'all lose.
That's it. So I'm excited about this upcoming school year and football season, and I can't thank you guys enough. Sheriff, thank you so much.
Russ, thank you
Yes,
for
sir.
having me. Travis.
Thank
You
you.
might slap a cuff on me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
liable
he
to.
might.
That is the move. See, there it is.
Well, thank you guys again for being with us today. And once an Eagle, always an Eagle. Thank you again for everything y'all do, and we'll see y'all around the bend. All right.